we are looking at ZLO. I'm gonna double check the names this time. We'll actually just look at, say, ZLO's perspective, and we can talk about his noobs so that I get it 100% correct. Alright, we have got Asgareth. He is going to go UEF. He's going to throw down his first air factory, which is a very smart idea because you want to get your units transported away from there, although he's probably going to walk his ACU anyway. We have got Gently, who is going to go Cybran. He is throwing down his first power generator. The first engineer out of the gates, though, will be heading over to this hydrocarbon power plant. And finally, under ZLO's command, we have McNeil. He is going to go Aeon. That's going to give him some floaty tanks. He's going to get his hydrocarbon plant underway pretty quickly after grabbing the core mixes with his ACU. He's going to have some more engineers popping out. They need to hurry up and grab as much of that island as they can. Alright, on Turinturambar's team, we have got Deponi. He started off up here on the island. He threw down a land factory, which he's going to get some engineers out of. That'll give him the ability to put some mixers down, get some power up and running, and that'll fuel his rampage across the main island here, where he can get underway and start building a real base. We have got Photonic. He is going to be Cybran as well. He's got his hydrocarbon plant down. He's grabbing a couple more Tech 1 power generators before, well, I'm not actually seeing any more build commands at all from these guys. What is it going to be? It probably is going to be an edge-built naval factory. That is exactly the case. And last but not least, we're going to see Watanoob up here. He's got his first air factory done. He's got a land factory as well, just for good measure. We're going to see a bit of scouting and probably a little bit of transporting away. Oh, what is that? That could be a little bit of fun. But he also is going to build a edge-built naval factory to try and get in the water nice and quickly. So we're once again playing left versus right. We saw the ACUs for ZLO and Turinturambar control K right at the beginning so that they are in the game. They can observe from a player's point of view, but they are not all seeing gods, and they are not, well, they can just keep interacting. They can even put pings down to assist their noobs in telling them what to do. Alright, how are we going for expansion? We have got one ACU already here from Deponi. He's throwing down a little bit more power. Obviously, a little bit of a case of slack engineers back at home, not building all the power that he needed. So now he's going to get a land factory underway, well, as soon as he can anyway, and that's going to help him expand onto this entire landmass. And there's, well, quite a few mixes up for grabs there. We can see a nice little bomber shooting across from McNeil, or that could possibly catch out all of those engineers, but it doesn't drop the bomb. Unfortunate, because it's going to go down to that interceptor. That could have been absolutely fantastic and taken out all three engineers together. But the height mapping, let's just have a quick look at this. You can see it's not exactly smooth and flat. That just screwed up the bomber's trajectory a little bit, and unfortunately didn't pay off. Alright, we have got a transport doing work here for Gently. That has got a couple of engineers up here onto this top island. That's going to give him a little bit more mass extractor income. And we can see he's also got some engineers floating around the water trying to grab some of those sub-sea mass extractors to improve his eco a little bit. But this is looking like a pretty strong naval play here from Photonic. He's already got 3 naval factories completed, and he's got a 4th one planned. We can see he's already got a couple of subs out from those guys, and I don't think there's much yet. So there's a single naval factory over here from McNeil, a single naval factory from Gently. They need to up their naval game just a little bit more if they want to keep hold of all of these mixes in the center, and that's a little bit of an eco boost. It's definitely worth holding on to if you can. Alright, we've got the comm for Asgareth over this way, just sitting here building. He's got one naval factory under his belt so far. He's popping down a torpedo launcher just to keep those pesky submarines at bay. And he's using engineers to actually take all of the mexes on this, which is expanding very rapidly. He's doing a very good job with that. A couple of land factories there giving very speedy advance across the landscape. Whereas over here we can see that Deponi just a little bit slower because he only took his ACU across there to start with, and the ACU is just wandering up here at the moment. So it's going to be a little bit slower for him to grab all the mexes on the island. So overall, a little bit more of a mass advantage to the right-hand team just at the moment. Although they're going to make up for that by grabbing all these mexes in the center, which Genly is just not really making a play for yet. And McNeil doesn't have any engineers in the vicinity anyway, so he's not going to be able to pick those up. We've got another edge-built naval factory here from Waternoom, so he is just using his ACU to get as many naval factories as he can squeeze around his little island. That's going to be quite good for these guys on the left. That is going to give them quite a leg up in naval production. So far, just not too much. In fact, Gently's coming under fire from those submarines coming across from Photonic. He does have a torpedo launcher. I don't think it's got quite enough. It does have enough range. It's going to ward those subs away. There goes one of those submarines. So that torpedo launcher is going to save the naval factory for Gently, but he still needs a heck of a lot more naval production to be able to keep up with what Photonic is doing. We have got a continued expansion up in the north here. Just about taken the entire island now, including this hydro that is not too far away from being completed. There is a bit of a greedy Gently coming up here though. He has grabbed, what is that, 5 mass extractors on the island. That's understandable though, you can't really have all of them going to another player, especially when that player is 1200 and Gently's current rating is 1500. So it's worth having a bit more mass in the slightly higher rated players bin. This is a very aggressive commander from Deponi coming up this way. What is the plan here? Does he have an upgrade? Let's just have a quick look. Upgrading T2 for McNeil? No, I don't think Deponi probably has the torpedo upgrade, which would be way too expensive for this stage in the game. But he's just going to shoo off those pesky engineers by sitting in the water there. What is McNeil doing? It's going to be a bit of a greeting. We've got one at the top of the cliff and one at the bottom of the cliff. Not quite sure what the plan from Deponi is here. Maybe throw a point defense. Yep, there we go. Edge built, point defense. If McNeil is not paying attention, we're lucky someone is paying attention, because a ping goes down from probably the pro player. And I'm just trying to remember who the pro player from McNeil is. Let me just consult my list. McNeil is on the ZLO's team, so lucky for him, ZLO is paying attention, and he gets a whole bunch of engineers across to go and deal with that. And the response from Deponi is to start reclaiming those engineers. I think McNeil is actually out of time, although he does have an artillery. That is the appropriate response to a Tech 1 PD, to build an artillery, as long as you don't sit it within PD range. That could be a little bit of a problem, because if he leaves it there, it could die to the point defense. Yep, there we go. That is exactly what happens. So this is actually going to leave the Tech 1 PT alive to continue laying down pressure on the main base. Down goes the Tech 2 power generator that was under construction. The Tech 2 engineers are also gone. Luckily for McNeil, he's got a few more floating around here. He can build some in a slightly more secure location, but this is ridiculous, letting a Tech 1 PD come into your base and start destroying your stuff. That is very sad indeed. So down will go the hydro, the Tech 1 power gens, and potentially even this Tech 2 factory, unless it is saved. There is some artillery fire coming down, but is that going to... The artillery goes down as well. So not many options here for McNeil. He's going to have to sit back out of range and deal with that point defense, but it is doing a heck of a lot of damage. let's check out what else is happening, because there's got to be something else happening other than an edge-built point of defense. We've got a bit of an air engagement going on here. Well, it looks like Gently is being cleaned out of the skies by Watanoob and Photonic's combined air force. Those guys looking pretty powerful in the air. They've got pretty good air coverage, and look at the naval coverage as well. They've got subs all the way up to Gently's island. That is not good at all. ZLO will be yelling and screaming at these guys to take some of that back, but I don't see how they can do it right now, because they need a lot more navy. There's half a dozen subs in the middle here. There is 5 naval factories they're producing. They have managed to actually clear out these naval factories here for Watanoob, so making some progress this way from Asgareth. So not making the same mistake as we saw in that last game with too much Tech 1 hover spam. We've actually got a decent amount of navy popping out from Asgareth. He is going to participate in that navy game. Alright, Deponi is on upgrade. That is probably purely Tech 2, yes it's Tech 2, purely to get a Cerberus turret up here so he can sit back at further range and just keep putting point defense on the island of McNeil. So McNeil really feeling the pressure there. What is that? Was that a missile? No, there's a bomber going to town on Asgareth's base. They're managing to take a few units out before going down to anti-air, but this is looking a little bit bad for Gently. He's now been ejected from the water. That naval factory gone down. The torpedo defenses that were there have also gone down. He is going to be solely relying on the torpedo bombers. Not a good option when you do not have air control. We've got all of these interceptors hanging back here for Photonic. They are ready to pounce on that torpedo bomber before it can do too much. In fact, it looks like it went down to the frigate fire anyway. There is a Cerberus turret going down, trying to defend against those frigates. No dice though. That goes down pretty quickly, and Gently finding himself pretty vulnerable. In fact, that is probably not the best place to build your Tech 2 generator, because that is right there within frigate range most likely, and especially within destroyer range when those Salem class start to roll across the waves, which I have no doubt will not be far away. In fact, there is already a Tech 2 HQ, and there is a Salem almost completed. It is under pressure though from Asgareth's navy that he has brought around. The Salem does finish though, so this is going to be a bit of a problem for the right hand team. And what is this? This is a lot of cheeky play here. This is going directly for a reclaim by the looks of it, dropping engineers right outside. Unfortunately, they are, well, actually there's no Cerberus turrets left, so they're not going to be taken out by any defenses on the coast. The transport does go down before the second engineer lands though, so not a lot of gain there for Watanoob. Watanoob actually having a little bit of trouble containing the naval power coming out from Asgareth. Continued frigate and sub spam coming out from these naval factories. He's just not able to deal with it. He's lost all of his naval factories around there. He's got a single naval factory left. He is going to have to rely on Photonic to completely demolish that. And it looks like Photonic's actually going to come in and try and do that now. Well, it looked like he was thinking about it anyway. He's going to hold back a little bit, maybe just waiting for that Salem class to rock on up and take out those naval factories at range. If they can take out those 2 naval factories, that's actually going to give them a pretty solid hold on the water. They've ejected Gently. They have, well, I don't know if they've ejected McNeil. I don't think he ever had any presence in the water. And if they can kick these naval factories out, it's going to be pretty one-sided. So looking pretty good for Turinturambar right now. There is a sneaky TAC missile launcher here. It has got 1 missile in the chamber ready to go. Are there any good targets of opportunity? Any T2 mixes? Well, yes, there's a T2 mix there. That would be a good target. There's no TAC missile defense around. I don't think these guys are suspecting that there is a attack launcher on that island just at this point, but there is. But what is this? This is ridiculous. Deponey making fantastic headway in terms of kicking McNeil out of his initial base. He's got 4 Tech 1 PD. He's got a attack missile defense. I think all he's missing now is a Cerberus turret or 2 to get rid of these annoying artillery that are over here. But McNeil not really managing to feature too much in this game, down to 9 mass per tick. Very sad to see, so he will be disappointing ZLO. The artillery are rolling on in, taking out those point defense, but that Cerberus turret is just about ready to go. There we go, and on it comes, so it's going to start laying down fire. I don't think it can contend with an ACU, but the ACU will probably lose a decent chunk of HP just in order to reclaim this position. Down to 8,900. There's one and almost another Cerberus turret. We can see Deponey switching up to Tech 1 PD instead of the Tech 2 because they have got more mass, or sorry, more DPS per mass than the Tech 2 turrets do. And when it's up close and personal against an ACU, wow, you really want that extra DPS, so you're going to spam those Tech 1 turrets. Alright, scouts overhead, so Photonic just keeping an eye on what Gently is doing. What is Gently doing? There's got to be a solution here. He's got a attack missile launcher. The plan for that, though, is a little bit dubious. There's a attack missile defense, so he is not going to be able to take out the ACU. He is not going to be able to take out these factories because they've got attack defense over them. There's attack defense in the water here, so there's not a lot of options for Gently to actually make that attack launcher count, and I don't think he'd be able to hit the ACU even if there was an attack launcher, because they come in at a fairly shallow angle most of the time, and if he's hugging the wall of that cliff, well, the attack missile is just going to slam into the ground. We've got a pretty much comprehensive naval victory now. It is just a matter of time, I think. Wow, look at that. The mixes have also been cleared out from Asgareth as well. So Asgareth losing his naval factories. He's losing his territory. He's desperately trying to hold on, but he's not going to be able to feature in this game too much longer. If there's a little bit of tech to air, that would easily be able to finish off that ACU right now. There is very little to stop him. Down here, McNeil is struggling against Deponey's aggression into his base. Look how much ACU health he's got there, 4,000 after taking out all of those turrets. Not a good start, and there's now even cruisers just for good measure sitting off the coast, raining fire down. That's actually continuing to hit McNeil with those long range nano darts. This is not good at all, down to 2,800 HP. He's dancing to avoid it, but I don't think that is going to save the day. Back home at base, what have we got? We've got some transports ready to go. We've got Tech 2 HQ going up to, no, it's just putting together some Corsairs by the look of it. Those nano darts managing to finish McNeil off. Well, this has turned out fairly one-sided, unfortunately for ZLO. The Salem Destroyer now just raining fire down upon Gently's base, and Asgareth, well, he's got very little left, and what is left is being taken out by Wagner's. The ACU just coming in to try and deal with those. Not a good result for ZLO, unfortunately. Gently, come on, Gently, 1,500. I think you're the top rated player that was in the game. Yeah, and McNeil, 1,400. Unfortunately, these guys not being able to do it. Maybe it's because they don't understand Russian, or maybe it's because they can't listen to a pro and play their own game and succeed at it. But that is the end of that match. The win there going to Turinturambar, managing to beat ZLO's crew out. And there we have it. So well done, Turinturambar. You have got a couple more points, or one more point I think you get for the victory there. So that was Flooded Argon and a victory to Turinturambar. In case you're wondering what this is the Legends versus Minions tournament. It's where one pro player is trying to command, well, doing his best to command a team of 3 lower rated players, trying to guide them to victory. And it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. We just saw it work for Turinturambar, and ZLO was just having to use his Russian expletives in that case. So that is, I think, round 3. Let's carry